So you can start sitting or lying down, either one. And I'm going to read a quote. And this is from Sharon Salzberg, who's one of my mentors. She's a meditation teacher. She started a insight meditation place in Massachusetts. There's one out here as well in the Bay Area, FYI. And excuse me, there's somebody coming in. So sit in a way that's comfortable for you, or go ahead and lie down in constructive rest. Maybe take a deep breath and settle in a moment. And this is from her Instagram, actually. Susan, a meditation student, wrote me this. When I'm feeling disconnected or lonely or anxious, I do my best to remember to pay attention to details. While paying attention does have a calming effect, I realize that paying attention, exquisite, extraordinary attention, is a way of falling in love. I can fall in love with the intricacies of a maple seed. I can fall in love with the sharp sound of the blue jays and squirrels fighting nearby. I can fall in love with the tension in my heart and throat when I think about the uncertainty of the coming months. This is a love that I consciously choose and that transforms any moment from one I'm rushing through or impatient with or not noticing to one I'm in love with. Unquote. Then Sharon goes on to say, the more we open to our present circumstances, one moment. The more we open to our present circumstances, our internal experiences, as well as our relationships with others and the world around us, the more we create the conditions for happiness to blossom. Eventually, we come to realize that, in fact, everything we need to be happy is here right now when we say yes to life. So that's our theme today. To pay attention is to love. So let's start with shoulders. And go both directions. And then chin towards your chest. Hey. And chin towards your ceiling. Maybe add breath. I'm going to see what's freaking her out so much. There's nobody there, buddy. It's okay. We're good. We're safe. It's all good. Then come out of your nods to side bends of your neck. And maybe allow it to have a little bit of rhythm to it. So you might try inhale tall, exhale to one side, inhale tall, exhale to the other side. Inhale tall. And then let's add that third plane of rotation, the twist. So inhale tall, exhale, look over one shoulder. Inhale tall, look over the other shoulder. Do that again. And then let's get to nods of the rest of our spine. So all the vertebrae in your torso. Try to nod each individual vertebra. Get it into this nod. And notice as you work your way down or up your spine, any vertebra where there kind of feels like you can't move it very much at all. Okay. Maybe two more nods. And one more. And then we're going to do side bend of our torso. So one hand down, the other one up. Inhale up, exhale over. Maybe add a breath if you feel like it. And see if you can have that sensation of side bending every single vertebra. Come on up whenever you're ready and switch sides when you're ready. Inhale tall, exhale over, maybe a whole nother breath. And see if you can side bend every single vertebra. Come on up and let's do twist, active twist. And again, can you twist in between each vertebra? And notice any areas that seem kind of stuck or where you're super twisty. Like, is it all coming from one spot or can you move each one? And notice any ones that feel a little stuck. Come to neutral again. And then let's do our static twist. So maybe a hand behind you, a hand on a leg. Inhale tall. Exhale, look behind you. Scoot over so everybody can see Luna. Release whenever you're ready. Switch sides whenever you're ready. Maybe a whole nother breath behind you. And then fingers and wrists, both directions. Elbows bend and straighten. Shoulders swim. And backstroke. And breaststroke. Okay. And we're giving attention to every joint in your body. So let's start by that lower half of your body by wiggling your toes. Then rock back and forth on your feet. Lift your heels, lift your toes. And then one foot up and ankle circles, both directions. Then bend and straighten that knee. And switch feet and switch directions. And bend and straighten that knee. Then windshield wiper your knees, flopping them back and forth. And last thing is sitting up tall and scraping the inside of that bowl of your pelvis. Feeling that in each corner. And then switch directions. And is this direction the same as the other direction? Maybe, maybe not. One more circle. And then come to neutral again, stacking your spine. Notice what it feels like inside your body to have paid attention to every joint. And as we go into our practice today, we're going to pay particular attention to our bodies, obviously, but particular attention to your breath, to grounding, that sensation of weight or heaviness, that connection with the earth. Centering, which is bringing focus to wherever your center is usually by doing core work to bring attention to your physical center. It helps with uh, scattered feelings or feelings of dissociation to pull yourself back into your center, wherever that might be for you. Rhythm, whether it's the rhythm of your breath or your movement, and orienting, which is knowing where you are in space and time right now. So let's do a little orienting, starting with your visual senses. Just kind of check out your space. Maybe sounds, the sound of my voice, the sound of my dog, maybe other humans or pets. Maybe the sound of, hopefully, the sound of a heater. It's freezing. The temperature of your space, sounds outside your space. Today's trash day. That might be part of our problem. Luna, it's enough. Ah, traffic, sounds of traffic, gardeners, lawnmowers, blowers, whatever's in your sound matrix. Pay attention is still love. Okay, let's start the rest of our movement on hands and knees. And we're gonna, so first check your alignment. Hey, Luna. Shh, I'm gonna send her outside. Hey, no, done. God, everybody's walking by. Two dog walkers. Hey, no, I know. That's just Ollie. It's Ollie. Let's go. It's okay. My apologies. Hey, stop it. We're good. No, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're all safe. We're good. We're gonna do sunbird. So put your left foot out in kickstand behind you, and your right arm like you're shaking hands with somebody behind or across the space. And then if you have the strength, bring your leg up. And then just notice the engagement of your back body, your abs, your shoulders to hold you in this position. And then let's add 3 windshield wipers of arms and legs. Flop them back and forth 3 times. And then go ahead and come down to all fours again. And we'll switch sides, starting with right leg back, left arm in shake hand mode. And then when you're ready, lift the back leg parallel to the ground. And remember, the imagery is um, can you put a coffee cup on your back and not have it slide off? Is it strong, stable table, even though you're in a challenge position? And then three windshield wipers here. And then come on down and come into child's pose as a counter stretch. See if you can support your head. Let your head be heavy, your knees, your hips. Can you breathe into your belly even though you're in a crumpled position? Notice maybe a little bit of stretch in your lower back as you breathe.
And then go ahead and come out of child's pose to standing on hands and knees and bring your right foot forward for lunge on the right side, stretching your left hip flexors. Adjusting for your body. Hmm. And then let's adjust this to be a hamstring stretch. So straighten that front leg until you feel it in your hamstrings. You're welcome to lean over that extended leg if you need more sensation, but try not to hyperextend your right knee. Make sure you're protecting that. And if you flex your right foot, it'll add um, your calf involved in this stretch as well. And breathe. It's a little bit of a balance challenge. And every time you have to a balance, it's a centering because you got to use your abs to hold yourself in place or your core, your center. Okay. We're going to add rhythm. So inhale, come into your lunge, and exhale, straighten that front leg. Inhale, lunge, exhale, straighten. Inhale, lunge, exhale, straighten, and then go ahead and switch sides. So left knee forward, stretch your right hip flexors in a hold for a moment. See if you can breathe into that area. Notice how this side is probably different than the other side. And then go ahead and straighten the left leg, maybe flexing the left foot if you want to engage your calf. And if it's appropriate for you to bend forward, do so. And breathe. And here we are going to add a rhythm. So inhale, come into your lunge, and exhale, straighten. Inhale, lunge, exhale, straighten. One more. Inhale, lunge, exhale, straighten. And then knees together back into tabletop, but then widen your stance. Put your hands further away from your body because we're going to come into down dog. So upside down V. You're welcome to have a generous bend in your knees. You're welcome to walk your dog or shift your weight from left to right. Try to let your head dangle and have it be heavy. Notice the contact between your toes and the hands, your hands and the earth. Mm. And then walk your hands back to your feet for forward fold. And again, you're welcome to have a generous bend in your knees. Maybe shake your head, nod and nose to help release your neck and allow your head to be heavy. You're welcome to sway if that feels good. Just notice this forward fold as we start our practice, our standing portion of our practice. And then on your next inhale, come into half forward fold. Exhale, reach for your toes, full forward fold. Inhale, stand up, arms up. Exhale, arms down. All right. We're going to do 3 sun salutations. So, helping to remember that pattern in our bodies, I'm going to use the back of a chair. You're welcome to be on your knees, on standing, using a chair, either ways that we know how to do that. I'm also going to take off my socks so I don't slide around. Okay. So stand in your mountain. Actually, before we do that, let's just check in with our bodies. Pay attention for a moment. Maybe put hands on your body. That feels okay. Notice your breathing. If you'd like to add a sway, I love swaying. Feels really good to me. Okay. And come back to stillness into your mountain, ready for sun salutation A. On your next inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, plank, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, stand up, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Now, many of you in this class don't know the pattern, so I'll go through it again 2 more times. Here we go. 1 breath, 1 movement. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, plank. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, stand up, arms up. Exhale, arms down. 1 more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, plank, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, stand up, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Maybe put your hands on your body again and notice what 3 sun salutations does. Maybe you can feel your heart rate. Notice your breathing. Maybe add a sway. Now we're going to continue on from the top of our mats. Take a giant step back with your left leg and come into lunge, staying on your back toes. So it's a little bit of a balance. And we're coming into crescent. So making a crescent from your back leg, your torso, all the way up into your hands, making a crescent moon. And breathing, noticing the contact between your front foot and your toes. And then go ahead and drop the back foot toward an angle in your room. That opens your torso up towards the center, but we're going to consciously twist towards the left in our hips and our shoulders, adding super strong arms. And now here we are in Warrior One. Energetically pull your legs towards each other for a super strong foundation, which allows you maybe to reach a little bit higher in your Warrior One. One more inhale here, and then open your arms to a T. Maybe open up your back foot so it's pointing towards the center of your space. Warrior two. If it's really easy for you to go past vertical of your front shin, you might widen your stance a little bit. Energetically pulling your legs towards each other, that energetic puppet string pulling your torso tall out of the top of your head, super strong arms parallel to the ground. Warrior two. All right. We're going to move on from here into half moon, which basically has this same basic shape, except balancing on your front leg. So hopping forward, luckily have my chair as support. So that's going to be super easy for me to bring my back leg parallel to the ground, stacking my shoulders into a T. Maybe your right hand's on the ground, maybe your right hand's hovering in the air. If you fall out, just hop back in. I have that luxury of having all this support. And then go ahead and come out of the balance challenge. Nicely done. Yay. Shake out your body if that feels good. And we're going to switch sides. So from mountain giant, step back with our right leg this time, staying on our back toes, dropping into a lunge in the front knee, adding arms for crescent, noticing our breathing, noticing the engagement of our legs, our center, and reaching strongly towards the sky. And breathing. Notice the quality of your breath through the challenge. One more inhale here, and then drop your back foot pointed towards the corner of your space. And then consciously shifting your hips and shoulders towards the front. Super strong arms for warrior one. Very similar to crescent, but a lot more to think about. Pull your legs towards each other. Reach up for the ceiling. Try to bring your torso towards vertical. Your knees tracking over your toes and not flopped in left or right. And then one more inhale here. Then left arm forward, right arm back for warrior two. Maybe wiggling yourself a little bit wider if that makes sense for your body shape. And again, pulling your legs towards each other, the imaginary puppet string coming out the top of your head. Super strong, warrior two. And then from here, hopping onto the front foot into half moon, trying to bring your back leg parallel to the ground, your shoulders stacked, arms stacked, top hand reaching for the sky, and breathing through the challenge. And then back up to vertical. Shake out your legs if that feels good. Virtual high five. Nicely done through your challenge. Maybe hand to body again. Notice what a few standing poses does to your body. To pay attention is to love. Okay. Now go ahead and take a giant step back with your left leg. So we're facing towards the center of our space. Feet are parallel to each other, also pointed straight ahead, or maybe even pigeoned in a teeny bit. We're going to come into wide leg forward fold, hinging at your hips. So I actually like to put my fingers at the hip crease so I know that I'm hinging there and not at my waist. So swan dive forward, keeping your back relatively stiff until your hamstrings have reached their maximum. And then let your head be heavy, the rest of your spine curl forward. And if you can reach for the ground, do so. If you're put your V wider, the ground becomes closer. Maybe shake and know your head to make sure that you're releasing your neck towards the ground or allowing your head to be heavy. Again, energetically pulling your legs towards each other and notice how that shifts. And notice where the weight is in your feet. If your weight is in your heels, you might shift forward so the weight is more evenly balanced throughout your whole foot or even into the balls of your feet. And breathe. And then come up halfway. So pull your torso into half forward fold. Maybe put your hands on your hips as well in a little challenge of holding your torso relatively parallel to the ground. And the reason we're pausing here is to help your brain equilibrate so that hopefully when we actually come to standing, you won't be dizzy. So one more breath here. And then inhale up to vertical. How did that work out? Okay. Right foot is going to point towards the right. Left foot stays pointed towards the center of your space. And we're just going to move into triangle pose. This time your legs will stay straight, arms into a T again, and hinging at your hip, not at your waist. You're going to try to keep your waist even on both sides. Reach towards the right and then reach for your thigh or your shin or your toes, whatever is right for your body to come into triangle pose. Don't put pressure directly on your front knee. You don't want to lock it out either. If you have the wherewithal, when we think about orientation, maybe turn your gaze towards your left thumb. And if you want to extend the challenge, turn your palm of your left hand towards the right and then overhead for extended triangle, stretching the whole left side of your body. And then adding our final bit to the challenge, let's fly by lifting your right hand away from your leg, parallel-ish to your left arm, flying. And then, whoo, back up to vertical. Excellent job. All we're doing is going to switch the orientation of our feet. So right foot is going to pivot in, so it's facing towards the center. Left foot is going to pivot towards the left, keeping our legs straight, arms into a T, hinging at the hip, reaching forward for your thigh, your shin, or your toe. Perhaps looking up toward your right thumb. Perhaps turning your right palm towards the left and then that arm overhead. And breathing. Notice the quality of your breath through the challenge. And then let's add to the challenge by flying, bringing the left arm up. And then torso to vertical, both feet in. Good job. Okay, one more standing pose. Turn your right foot out again, and this time come into a lunge. And again, it's easy for you to go way past a vertical front shin, then wiggle the back foot back a little bit to increase your stance. And then right forearm to right thigh for side angle. Bring your left arm up towards the sky, maybe looking at that left thumb, And maybe turning that left palm towards the right and then overhead for extended side angle. So a long line stretching the entire left side of your body. And then we're going to fly. So take that right arm away, up next to the left-ish. Hold and breathe. And then up to vertical. And then switch orientation of your feet. Left foot towards, or right foot towards the center. Left foot pointed away. Drop into your lunge. Left forearm to left thigh. Pull your heels towards each other, right arm up towards the sky, maybe gazing at your right thumb, and then right palm towards the left and overhead for extended side angle. And breathe. And our last challenge, bringing the left arm up towards the right, flying. Ah. And then torso to vertical. Bring your feet together. Shake out your legs. Well done. Yay. Excellent. Let's put our hands on our body if that feels okay. Maybe add a sway. Notice your breathing. Hmm. Okay. We're going to come down to the mat from the back of our space. On your next inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, fold forward, and let's hold this forward fold. And notice how it's different from the one where we started our standing practice. And breathe even though we're in a crumpled fold. You're still welcome to have a bend in your knees. Is this bend different than how we started? And if you think about from your heel all the way up your legs, around your back, down the backside, over and out the top of your head. And then go ahead and crawl yourself onto the ground and onto seated, feet out in front of you, and maybe reach a little bit further with your heels for staff pose. So making a right angle with your torso and your feet and really, or your legs, and really pressing underneath your heels, your calves, and your thighs, and having that pressure sometimes allows us to have more length in our torso. So inhale, bring your arms overhead, and exhale, reach for whatever you have, bringing your belly towards your thigh. If this doesn't happen for you at all, maybe bend your knees, bring your belly towards your thigh so you can have, some stretch of your hamstrings. And then as you sit here and it releases, just wiggle your heels out a little bit wider until you feel a sensation in your lower back and your hamstrings, maybe your calves. And breathe. Every inhale, a little longer spine. Every exhale, bringing your belly a little bit closer to your thigh. And it almost ends up being a little bit of a flow or dance as you inhale and lengthen and exhale and soften. On your next inhale, bring your torso back up to vertical and bring the soles of your feet towards each other for butterfly, and really grab onto maybe your shins and try to give yourself a little bit of a back bend to counteract the forward fold. You can get your breath all the way down to your lower back. Maybe it looks like this, whatever your shape looks like, having a little lumbar curve. And then for fun, maybe flap your butterfly wings because it's kind of fun to be playful and have that rhythm. And then go ahead and come onto your backs with your knees bent, feet on the ground. Let's come into constructive rest. Maybe a hand on your body. Notice to pay attention is to love. Okay, we're going to move on to bridge pose. Bridge pose, maybe you have your arms in robot or right angles. You're going to press in with your upper arms and your feet to lift your hips into the sky, getting air underneath your hips. And breathe. And maybe look down and notice what your knees are doing. You want your knees to stay over your heels and not flopped out to the left or the right. So make sure they're tracking away from your body along this same midline as opposed to flopping out. A little strengthener of the backside of your body again. One more inhale here, and then go ahead and lower down. Well done. Next, we're coming into right angle pose. You put your feet on the ceiling. Maybe you have a bend in your knees, depending on the tightness of your hamstring. But we're again making a right angle like we did to start our sitting practice. And notice the difference between your right angle when it's your feet and legs in the sky as opposed to your head and torso, and when it's your torso as the base instead of your legs. So adjust your right angle. Notice what it feels like. And then we're going to make a little rhythmic flow out of it. So here we go. Back feet back on the ground. On your next inhale, press your feet into the ground and lift your hips. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your feet to the ceiling. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your feet. And lower with control. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your feet to right angle. Exhale, lower. Last set. Inhale, lift your hips into bridge. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your feet for right angle. Exhale, lower. Excellent job. All right, our last pose before Shavasana is a twist. You could do double knee twist or single knee twist, whatever is right for you. I'm just going to go ahead and double knee twist by flopping my knees over to one side. You're welcome to add your arms in cactus or straight out, whatever is right for you. And breathe into your twist. Can you get your belly breath all the way down into the corners of your belly? Maybe allow your body to sink into the ground or whatever's holding you a little bit more. Mm. One more breath here. Then on your next inhale, bring both knees back up to vertical. Shake out your hips if that feels good. And then flop over towards the right or switch directions depending on which side you started with. Notice how this side might be different than the other side, or rarely symmetrical, all the way up and down. Breathe into your belly through the twist. Let it go. And see if you can allow your body to be a little heavier. One more breath here. Then on your next inhale, bring your knees back up to vertical. Shake out your hips if that feels good. Maybe grab the tops of your knees and roll around a little bit for a little lumbar, lower spine, self massage. Bring your knees tightly into your chest. Give yourself a final hug. And then find your favorite Shavasana position. I'm going to come up to seated. And I'm going to switch cameras again. So let's take a big breath together. Big breath in. And let it go. And settle into your space. Maybe allow your body to be a little bit heavier. And I'm going to read the quote that we started class with today. To pay attention is to love. Susan, a meditation student, wrote me this, quote, when I'm feeling disconnected or lonely or anxious, I do my best to remember to pay attention to details. While paying attention does have a calming effect, I realize that paying attention, exquisite, extraordinary attention, is a way of falling in love. I can fall in love with the intricacies of a maple seed. I can fall in love with the sharp sound of the blue jays and squirrels fighting nearby. I can fall in love with the tension in my heart and throat when I think about the uncertainty of the coming months. This is a love that I consciously choose and that transforms any moment from one I'm rushing through or impatient with or not noticing to one that I'm in love with. Unquote. Sharon Salzberg goes on to say, the more we open to our present circumstances, our internal experiences,
as well as our relationships with others and the world around us, the more we create the conditions for happiness to blossom. Eventually, we come to realize that, in fact, everything we need to be happy is here right now when we say yes to life. To pay attention is to love. So maybe do a little scan of your own body. And where do you feel tension or stress? And let's bring attention and love to those areas. Maybe your jaw, maybe your tongue, maybe your forehead, your eyes, maybe your shoulders, your hips, your belly, or wherever you hold tension or stress. Maybe there's other places, maybe all of the above. And send compassion, gratitude to those areas for protecting you, for keeping you safe. And then maybe notice an area that actually feels pleasant or neutral or least bad. And send your attention and your love to that area or areas. To pay attention is to love. It is self-care, self-compassion, self-love. Mm. So now it's time to come out of our Shavasana, so maybe take a big breath in and let it go. Maybe wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe wrist circles or ankle circles. Maybe a full body stretch. And gently and kindly bring yourself back up to seated. May the inner light in you reflect the inner light in me. Namaste, everybody. Thank you for practicing.